We've talked a lot about guides, page guides, pasteboard guides, column guides, margin guides, but now I want to show you a different kind of guide that many users never even know is in the program, a document grid. The document grid is like graph paper for your document. Here, let me show you. First, I'm going to go out of preview mode down here in the bottom of the tool panel. I'll just click normal. I could have just pressed W as well on Mac or Windows. Now I'm going to go to the View menu, scroll down to Grids and Guides, and choose Show Document Grid. The document grid, like I said, it's like graph paper. You can probably see that the document grid is made up of slightly darker lines and then thinner lines called subdivisions. You can control those subdivisions and how large these areas are by going to the Preferences dialog box. On the Macintosh, Preferences is found under the InDesign menu, Preferences, Grids. In Windows, you go to the Edit menu, then Preferences and Grids. And the Grids pane of the Preferences dialog box gives you an option for Document Grid. We can change the color. For example, maybe we'll make it peach color instead. And you can change how large this is. So for example, we might change this to, let's say 5 centimeters. And I'm tabbing over here and doing 5 centimeters over here as well. And then 5 subdivisions between each one of those. That means I'll have a darker line at every 5 centimeters, and then 5 subdivisions, which means each subdivision will be 1 centimeter wide. Notice that because my default preferences are set to points and picas, this automatically gets changed from centimeters to points and picas, and I find that a little bit annoying, but I can deal with it. I'll forgive InDesign this time. Click OK, and we can see that suddenly we have peach-colored document grid with a darker line every 5 centimeters, thinner lines every single centimeter. I'll zoom in on this object here by selecting it and then pressing Command 2 on the Mac or Control 2 on Windows, and we can see that the guide, it's not lining up with the guide at all. In fact, the guide isn't even on top of these objects. Where is it? Well, if you want the guide on top of your objects and you don't see it on top of your objects, deselect everything and then right-click on somewhere that there's nothing except guides or a pasteboard. Go to Grids and Guides and turn off Grids in Back. That's a preference. That is the easiest way to turn it on and off. Turn Grids and Back off, and now they're in front of everything. There we go. Now I can see it. Now, if I want this object to snap, I just drag on top and it's not snapping. Why not? One more little frustration that I have with the document grid. By default, when it's on, it does not turn on the snap to the document grid. We have to do that manually. So we go to the View menu, go down to Grids and Guides, and turn on Snap to Document Grid. Now, when you move objects around, it will actually snap to the document grid itself. So that's handy. Now it's snapping. But there's something to watch out for here. Even if I turn off the document grid, I go to the View menu and I choose Grids and Guides and I say hide the document grid, well, it's still snapping to those grid lines. It'll still snap. And in fact, oftentimes people will email me and they'll say, hey, I'm moving objects around my page, but it's jerky. They're not moving smoothly. I can't get the objects where I want. Almost always the problem is they have not yet turned off, or someone snuck in on their machine and turned on the Snap to Document Grid. Or maybe they pressed the keyboard shortcut accidentally or something. So if you turn off Snap to Document Grid, now you're back to where you were and you can move your objects anywhere you want. You have a lot of control here, but you have to watch out for what is turned on and what's turned off. The document grid is not for everyone. But if you do need a customizable grid and you need it fast, you're going to be super happy that the folks at Adobe put this feature in there.